evening. Welcome to another edition of Slice by Bryce, the podcast. This is episode 15. Remember to like, share, subscribe. It's hard to believe that it's been almost a year today since my first episode, but I thank everybody that's been along for the ride. It's definitely been a journey, and we're going to keep it going. So without further ado, my guest today, she's the owner of her business, Nourished Bayou Nutrition. She also works at Metamorphosis Healing and Arts. She's a registered dietitian. My guest today is Amanda Gibson.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Thank you for coming on.
I just want to say Bryce has personal trained me and has done a really good job, so that's how we know each other, but I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have. And just to start out, go ahead and give the audience a little background on yourself, how you got to where you are today, and then what made you want to get into dietetics?
Yeah, so I'm a late bloomer. I was originally in school for culinary, and then I was like, I love food, but I don't want to spend hours in the kitchen all day. So then I went to counseling because I have a really big passion for helping people navigate problems. But then I was like, oh man, that's so heavy. I didn't know if I could really take that on. And after I had my daughter, I had actually gained 80 pounds in weight during my pregnancy. And I went on this whole health journey to find like a really good balanced lifestyle in order to feel better. So that's how I discovered dietetics. So I went to school and I graduated, did my internship through Nichols, and here I am today. I have a private practice in Houma, and like you said, I work at Metamorphosis Healing Arts Center. So I work along a great team of people that all have different backgrounds and skills. So it's been a journey.
Oh yeah, 100%. So just to kind of talk about like some of the challenges that you face as a dietitian, keeping clients motivated day to day, getting them to stick to their regimen, and just some of the different challenges that dietitians face as far as that. I
think that in Louisiana specifically, it's a challenge to be a dietitian. We have really great food here, but I think an overall challenging aspect in the nutrition community for any RD, no matter where they live, is the nutrition information online, and a lot of it can be really misleading, right? It's conflicting information. So I think that's what we as RDs have to battle a lot of the time. Of course, I don't practice really restrictive eating because I see a lot of people in general that have dieted their entire life and then they're having trouble losing weight, and then they go into a restrictive eating pattern and then they binge eat, and then they feel a lot of guilt and shame from that, and it's a really vicious cycle that we kind of get stuck in, right? So saying it's okay to have cake. You know, sometimes everybody should have cake sometimes. Birthdays, gatherings. In Louisiana, we love to gather. So it's okay to have those things. But I am there to support you in learning and to showing you what a balanced eating pattern should be. You know, because I oftentimes try to tell you it's not about what you take out of your diet, it's about what you add to it, right?
Right. Find, like you said, find that balance.
Finding the balance. And I think that's a hard concept for people because they believe calories is negative. They believe, the idea, what do you mean I can eat cake? Yeah. What do you mean I can eat carbs? Carbs are your body's main source of energy. You cut out that completely, then you really are kind of messing with the way that your body's working, right? So I think that's the difficult part, is trying to fight that narrative that people are seeing all online.
Kind of like lay that foundation down,
Absolutely.
What they should be doing and breaking those old habits,
Absolutely. And I think that what I see most often in my line of work is that, maybe people aren't eating enough vegetables, eating enough fruits, and they're not moving enough.
Right.
So that's why, it's so important to add those things to your diet, which kind of crowd out the non-nourishing items.
Cutting out those processed foods and those soda, sugary drinks and whatnot.
Not necessarily cutting out, right? Because that's kind of a part of life nowadays. Unfortunately, we're so fast-paced, and we're just, sometimes we have to choose something that's from a box. But we can eat less of that,
right,
and still be okay.
mm-hmm. Yeah, like kind of like one day you might slip up and eat some fast food, and then it's not the end of the world.
It's
Next
not.
day, you correct yourself, you eat healthier.
I'm glad you brought that up, though, because I always tell my clients that just because you did this one day doesn't mean that all of your successes are not there or they were never there. You still had those successes. You just, had a bad day. Try again tomorrow. Try again your next plate. You know?
And that's just like working out. Sometimes people might come in, they have a subpar workout, and I tell them it's not the end of the world. You showed up, you put the effort in. Your workouts, you're not always going to be 110%, but as long as the effort's there over a long period of time, you're going to get your result. And that kind of leads into my next question. In your opinion, how important is it to have a diet plus have a good workout regimen for weight loss and longevity?
Yeah, so I think we kind of touched on that briefly a little bit, but I think people are lacking on movement in general, and I think people are definitely missing some food groups in their diet. So I think it all really goes hand in hand, as far as exercise. And look, that is not my scope of practice. I'm just going to sit into you.
Right.
But it's all very important. I mean,
yeah.
What do they recommend? Adults get a minimum of 2 hours and 30 minutes of exercise per week?
It's 150 minutes per week.
Okay.
Minimum.
Oh. See, that's why I sent them to you. But yeah, no, I mean, so...
It goes hand in hand.
It absolutely goes hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you need? You need energy to exercise.
Right.
And you need, it plays on each other, and it's so important.
I have so many people that come in and, they're feeling weak or whatever. I'm like, did you eat something before you came? 9 times out of 10, they didn't eat before. So that's one thing, stress is, you gotta feel your body.
I love that. And, I've been guilty of that with you. Again, life is just so fast-paced, and it's really hard to sometimes take care of ourselves. We put ourselves last when we're, taking care of our kids or doing work duties and things like that. But calories get such a bad rap. And calories, by definition, is the energy that food gives us, right? So I try to really shift the narrative on calories for my clients, looking at it as energy instead of this thing that they need to stay away from, because we need calories, right? We just need the right amount. And you had touched on it just briefly about listening to your body, eating when you're hungry, stopping when you're full. And I think a lot of the problem is that we tend to finish our plates because we were taught that you need to clear everything on your plate, right? That's how we were raised. Our parents taught us that. But that actually promotes obesity later on in life, because now we're like, I need to finish everything on my plate, or I've wasted it. So we really have to change that narrative too. Think differently. Say it's okay to leave items on our plates. Wait 5 minutes before you get that second serving to make sure are you full? Are you still hungry? Do you need more? So give it that time for your body to really tell you something.
Right. And would you say, like, somebody they eating a plate of food, would it be best to eat the protein first versus eating your starches and whatnot?
Yeah, so every food group plays a role in our bodily systems, right? I mean, we got our fruits and vegetables, have all those nutrients our body needs, vitamins, minerals, protein, obviously really good for building muscle and repairing muscle. Grains, starches, really good for fiber, things like that. So to me, it doesn't necessarily matter in what order you eat the things, but I always, use my plate as a visual whenever you're setting up your plate. Making half your plate the vegetable, making a fourth of it the grain, preferably whole grains that has that really good fiber, and then making a fourth of it that protein. Mm-hmm.
So my next question would be, the price of groceries right now is fairly high. It's not getting any better. But, a lot of people ask me, what should I buy if I'm on a budget? And so if somebody's on a budget but they want to eat healthy, what would be some recommendations from you, like in the grocery store?
I love this question. And, it's a huge myth, right, that I can't eat healthy because I can't afford to. Well, but that, I feel like that has a lot to do with these influencers online too. They send us these mixed signals, but have you heard of the myth that, only shop around the perimeter of the grocery store, don't go in the aisles? Well, that's a huge myth to me, because what are some things that are going to be in the aisles of the grocery stores? It's going to be your beans, your canned vegetables, frozen vegetables. Yeah. Frozen vegetables sometimes have more nutrients than fresh vegetables, and because they last long. And they don't die in your refrigerator. So these are some things that you can do. I love the steamer bags, $1, just throw them in your microwave. It's easy. Beans are a really good protein source, full of fiber too. Canned is really good too. Just give it a good rinse to get some of that sodium off if you're not choosing the lower sodium versions. Brown rice in general, things like that. So it's not that we can't afford to eat healthy. We just have to make smart decisions to do that. I understand protein is pretty expensive, but there's a lot of plant protein too. And we actually recommend eating plant proteins, just kind of eating a little bit more of those. So that's when you have your green beans, and nuts are a great source for that too, so on and so forth. So I think that is a huge misconception, is that I can't eat healthy because I can't afford to. But there is a way to do so.
Mm-hmm. Right, just navigating the grocery store. I know that was one of my challenges whenever I really started trying to lock in with my nutrition. Was navigating the grocery store. And I found some different things that worked for me. Like used them on the steamer bags. I buy a lot of frozen vegetables and frozen proteins as well, like the frozen chicken breast, frozen fish. It's a little bit cheaper, and you can buy in bulk. Just kind of use it as you need without worrying about it going bad. The different things like that have definitely helped me out. Next topic I want to touch up on is music. I know you have a passion for music. Are you currently playing any instruments or anything like that?
So I think my passion is really just to explore my creative side. I do love writing music. I think that's a great outlet. I know we've touched on this, but the place I work at, Metamorphosis Healing Arts Center, it's trauma-centered therapy. So I think it really lends to providing a good mental health release whenever I'm writing music, because that's important, right? Especially, I think we don't really think about our food choices in terms of mental health, but food really does affect the way that we feel. If we're not nourishing our mind and our body, we're not feeling our best. How many times have you maybe not eaten or haven't eaten anything with a lot of nutrition and just felt really foggy?
Can't function.
You can't really function. You ever just got, you feel like you're in a cloud? Kind of check in with yourself. What have I eaten today?
Or you overeat and you feel sluggish after, tired and crash.
Your body's working overtime to try to digest that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So it really does play into mental health. So that's why I like writing too. It helps with mental health, helps you through hard times. I do a lot of videography too. So it's just, I like to be creative and to express myself that way.
Right. It's a good, healthy, it's an outlet, It's therapeutic. Kind of like me with the gardening, It's fun, it's therapeutic, and you get a lot out of it,
And you have to have that. You have to have something for mental health and physical health and so on and so forth. Right. So I think that's important.
It all plays hand in hand, just like we're talking about the diet and nutrition. It's about finding that balance. Do you have any comments or anything you wanted to add to what we've touched on so far?
Yeah, I think so. I do have a private practice and I accept some insurances. So you can find me by calling Metamorphosis Healing Arts Center in Homa. And if you have any questions, you can email me. My email information's on there as well. And I really appreciate you having me. And it's been a lot of fun. And I hope to hear from you soon.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Go work out with Bryce.
Yeah. Get sliced by Bryce. All right. Appreciate you.